Boo has just been really happy. He's been rubbing up on everything in this room. It's like he's high off this medicine.
Stella, Splash, Simba, Boo, Sammy, Richard, Nancy, Goldie, Ziggy, Ringo, Eva, Hydrox, and Ditto, the Lucky Ferals.
It's about 9:45 a.m. and I just came in here to check on Boo. Hey Boo, good morning. And it looks like he ate what was left, or most of what was left of his rabbit pate. And this was turkey deli meat. I gave him 2 slices of the all-natural oven roasted turkey deli meat, and I pureed it in some water. So it looks like he ate some of that. How you doing, Boo? You feeling okay? So let me fill you in on what happened. So last night, I was up later than I wanted to be. So around 12:30 a.m. I came into this room and I was like, I'm just going to lay down here on the day sofa. I grabbed a blanket from the closet and I laid down here, and as soon as I did, Boo jumped on top of me. Now, Boo has done that in the past a lot. Like, if I lay down, Boo will either come and lay next to me or he'll lay on top of me. But what was different was that he wasn't just laying on top of me. He was rolling around on top of me. Like, I don't know if it's a side effect of the medication that he's on, and I looked at the side effects this morning, and all the side effects for this medication are, like, negative side effects. But Boo has just been really happy. He's been rubbing up on everything in this room. It's like he's high off this medicine or something. And the way he was like rolling around on me, I was like, this cat is just so happy right now. So that might be a side effect of what he's on, or maybe he's just, you know, happy to not be in pain, because I really think that the tooth was causing him pain over the past several days. I guess I fell asleep because then sometime around 2:30 in the morning, Boo went over to the window. And so then what I did was I got up and I was like, okay, Boo, I'm going to leave. So then Boo came back to the day sofa, and then he was like laying in the blanket. So I was like, okay, I'm going to leave. I'll go to my bed, and then you just go to sleep and relax the rest of the night. So the other thing that happened last night is that Nancy spent the night upstairs. Nancy spent the night upstairs with the older cats. I think she was concerned about Boo, because this morning when I woke up, she was laying in the hallway, like kind of outside of Boo's room. And I was like, oh, wow, I wonder if she's concerned about him. There were no fights with the other cats. I looked at the security camera footage. At one point, she was sleeping in one of the cat towers by the window. And then it looked like she was sleeping in the little cat bed underneath a piece of furniture in the living room. Splash slept on the couch. Stella has a favorite spot on the floor next to the coffee table. And Simba, I don't know where he was sleeping, but around 6 o'clock in the morning, I heard a cat meowing. It sounded just like Boo. And I was like, uh-oh, what's going on with Boo? So I opened my door, and it ends up that it was Simba. Oh, I also should say that when I went to bed at like 2:30 in the morning, I was like, I'm going to shut my door so I could get good sleep, so no cats will bother me. But then at 6 o'clock in the morning, someone was meowing at the door. I thought it was coming from this room because it sounded just like Boo. But when I opened the door, it was Simba. So Simba came running into the room, and I was like, okay, Simba. He wanted to go on the bunk bed by the window, but I checked on Boo anyway, and Boo was underneath the day sofa sleeping. So I know it wasn't Boo. So today is supposed to be a very cloudy day. I don't know if we're getting rain today. It's supposed to be around 80 degrees. So it's going to be a good day to stay home and get things done. It's also like the last day of August. So I need to do a lot of things to kind of like wrap up the month, like work-wise and stuff. I also want to make 2 more batches of homemade raw food for Boo. And I would like to get a video edited and posted. And so that's on the agenda. Boo's going to stay in this room today. I will be giving him his medicine relatively soon. What I want to do now is cook up some scallops, and then I'm going to give him his medicine in like a scallop. and see if he'll eat it that way. I need to think of things that I know he's definitely going to eat. I don't want him grooming himself. He also got flea comb last night. And I should mention that he has not been bleeding since yesterday. So fingers crossed that he continues to not bleed, because, you know, I don't want him losing a bunch of blood. So right now he's not bleeding. Yesterday he got his medicine around 11 a.m., 11:30 a.m. So that's why I'm not in a rush to give him his medicine too soon this morning. He'll still get it a little bit earlier than he did yesterday, but I don't want to give it too soon. Also, the medicine that he's on, I have to look up the name of it. You can only give it to a cat for 3 days. So it is, it's a painkiller, but it's also anti-inflammatory. And a lot of cats get it like after surgery and stuff. But Boo didn't have a surgery. He just had, you know, a wiggly tooth. But Boo is very happy. You're a happy boy, right, Boo? Boo's very happy. He enjoys time in his room, right, Boo? Okay. All right, good boy. I'm going to clean up your plates, and then you'll have breakfast soon, okay? Okay. Every time a cat is in this room for, like, health reasons, it's always like they are at a special cat hotel. They get amazing service, right, Boo? I just steamed some scallops for the cats, and I'm hoping I'll be able to get the medicine into Boo in a steamed scallop. So I have a little bit here just as a test to make sure he's going to eat this. Maybe I'll cut that into smaller pieces, but it is very soft. Okay, let's see if he'll eat this. Here's Boo. You want a little bit of a scallop, Boo? You going to eat it? If he eats it, then he'll get another one with his medicine in it. And hopefully this is not going to irritate his tooth because we're doing so good. Okay, looks like he's eating it. I'm going to try to cut the next one into smaller pieces. More, you going to finish that one piece? You want to finish it? You done? You done? So here's another scallop that I cut into small pieces, and you see the little pill next to it? So I'm going to cut the pill into smaller pieces. It crumbles very easily. I'm going to mix the small pieces of the pill in the scallop, and then hopefully he'll eat the whole thing. The pieces of the tablet are in the scallop, and let's see if he'll eat it. Ooh, you want a scallop? Want a scallop? Okay, there's your scallop. Eat your scallop. Eat it, Boo. Eat the scallop. Why are you not eating it? You just had a piece of it. Now you eat it. Eat the scallop. Eat it. Eat the scallop, Boo. Come on, Boo. You just had it. Here, eat it again. Okay, you want a churro on it? You want me to mix a churro on it? You want me to get a scallop churro? Okay, you eat it. You eat it, Boo. Eat the scallop. Yeah, eat this. Eat that. You want to put churro on it? Want churro? I'm going to give him a chicken and shrimp churro. I'll put it on the scallop. Hopefully he'll eat it. He ate the churro off of the top, so what I did was I gave him the rest of the churro and then I mixed it in, so hopefully he'll eat the whole thing now. Boo ate almost the entire scallop. Alright, he just got everything off of the plate. I had to use a little bit of Fortiflora to get him to finish. And this is the Fortiflora packet. It's a probiotic from Purina Pro Plan Veterinary. And this was first suggested for, I think it was Stella, when she was having an upset stomach, like digestive issues. And ever since then, I realized that it works as a really good way to entice a cat to eat something, especially if you need to get some kind of medicine into them. I use this on Ditto quite often to get him to eat. So it does kind of work as an appetite stimulant. I'm not too crazy about this because it kind of reminds me of like Lipton cup of soup. And, you know, Lipton cup of soup does not have the best ingredients. It's usually full of MSG and stuff. But this has like liver flavoring. And it does get the cats to eat something. And I use this as sparingly as possible. So the dosage for this is like 1 package per day per cat. But what I do is I just open it up and then I just sprinkle the tiniest amount on something. And that way I can make this little package usually last several days. In Boo's case, I'm trying to get him to eat more, so maybe this 1 pack will last like 1 day or 2 days. So I'm just really happy that he took his medicine. So he should be feeling good today also. I was just flea combing Boo. I actually got a flea off of him. So like, what's going on with this revolution? He got it yesterday. They're supposed to keep fleas off of him for a month. But I just got a flea off of him. So I'm going to comb him again. But maybe with this medicine he's on, he's not realizing that he has the fleas because he's not itching like he usually does. I just gave him some of the homemade raw food that I made for him. I added in a little bit of warm water, so it's kind of like a soupy consistency. And hopefully he'll eat that. He seems to have a decent appetite right now. One of the side effects of the medicine that he's on is a loss of appetite, so. Good morning, Ziggy. She's waiting to get flea combed. Good morning. Good morning, Nancy. Good morning, Sammy. Let me show you what I just found in the bathroom. I just saw this. So obviously that's a litter box, and then this is the grass mat that helps to catch litter. And it looks like someone, I don't know if they had an accident on this grass mat, but looks like there's some poop on it. So they decided to cover it with the litter. So that shows you how smart cats are, by covering their poop like that. So I wanted to tell you a story about what happened to me yesterday when I went to buy cat litter. Come on up, Boo. So I went to one of the local pet supply stores where I normally shop about twice a month. And when I go there, I buy enough cat litter to last about 2 weeks. And sometimes I'll also buy some cat food or some cat treats. They don't have the best prices there on everything, but some things they do. And they do have coupons, and they do have like a savings club. So, you know, when I use all of them together, it can be a good deal. So I was at the cat litter. And I normally buy like at least 6 bags of cat litter at a time. These are 18-pound bags of cat litter. And, you know, I never buy like everything that they have. So if they only have 6 bags left, I'll only buy like 4 bags. I'll always leave a few bags for someone else that needs some. But they were fully stocked when I was there. So I was like, great, I'm going to buy 6 bags. So I start loading them into my cart, my shopping cart, and I noticed that there was an elderly woman a few feet away from me, and she was also buying cat food, and she started looking at me and watching me, and every time I put another bag of cat litter in my shopping cart, her eyes got bigger and bigger, and she was like, oh my gosh. So finally she said something, and she was like, how many cats do you have? And I was like, I have 11 rescues. And she goes, oh, okay. And I was like, how many cats do you have? And she told me that she only has 1 cat. And then we got to talking, and she just started telling me like her whole story. So it ends up that she had a cat, and what happened was the cat was sick, and she brought it to the same vet where I had the Lucky 7 spayed and neutered. And I was like, oh, that's a weird coincidence. You know, I didn't say that, but I was thinking that. And she was telling me how horrible that they were, that they like charged her so much money. They didn't really do anything for the cat. And they kept the cat there for like 5 days. They're like, well, we need to keep it for observation, so we're going to board it here. And the cat was there like for almost a week, and nothing was getting better. They really weren't doing anything. So finally she got fed up with that, and she's like, you know, I'm coming to get my cat. And she ended up picking up the cat and taking it to another vet. And then she was telling me about the other vet. And then she said the other vet was great. And it ended up that the cat had cancer. So she had to put the cat down. And I was like, yeah, I know what that's like. I had a cat with cancer. So then she said, but she didn't want to put the cat down on Friday the 13th. She goes, I did not want that. So what happened was someone at the vet's office actually stayed there or came back to work, and they put the cat down like right after midnight on the next day. She said it was like January 14th. So I was like, oh, well, that was really nice of them to, honor your wishes of not wanting the cat to cross on, Friday the 13th. So she was thrilled with that vet, and she was telling me, that she really, really likes them. And then she was telling me how she got her current cat, and it was just really strange. So she was telling me that her husband had passed away. Now, I don't know if her husband passed away before her other cat passed away or after her other cat passed away, but she said her husband had passed away, and, she was all alone. She didn't have her other cat, and she decided that it was time for her to get another cat. So she went to one of the local pet stores that always has like adoptions on weekends from local rescues. So she said, she filled out all the forms, but they wanted almost $200, and there was absolutely no guarantee that she was actually going to get the cat. It was just like an application fee. And I was like, that's crazy. I never heard of something like that, but I don't know how many years ago this was. I know now, like, all the rescues are so overloaded with cats and stuff. Even the shelters are overloaded that, I don't know how much they're charging, but I can't imagine that they would be charging $200 without even a guarantee that you're going to get the cat. So she said, she couldn't afford to pay that. So she didn't go with that. And then she was sitting at home one day, and I guess she was outside on her porch, and she said she's still at her husband's car. And all of a sudden, this little cat came running toward her from underneath her husband's car. And she said it was a little tuxedo cat. And the cat that she had previously was also a tuxedo cat. So she interacted with the cat, and the cat was pretty friendly to her. And the more she interacted with the cat, the more she was like, oh my gosh, this cat is like my previous cat reincarnated. And she swore by the fact that her husband sent it to her because it came from underneath the husband's car, and the husband did not want her to be alone. So she's like, I swear my husband sent this cat to me. And she was also convinced that the cat was her previous cat reincarnated because they were both tuxedo cats. And the one that had passed away was a male tuxedo cat. And the one that came from under the car was a female tuxedo cat. But their personalities and the things that they like and everything were like exactly the same. And I was a little freaked out by that because, that happened to me with Sammy. When Sammy escaped from the trap, like she was the first member of the Lucky 7 that was trapped. When she escaped from the trap, everything that she did in this room was exactly like Ditto. I remember thinking, oh my God, she's just like Ditto. Oh my God, that's exactly what Ditto did. And I was really thinking, like, is Sammy Ditto? Like, did Ditto reincarnate and come back as Sammy? Because they were both tuxedo cats, and they just were so similar. Even now that I've gotten to know Sammy better, she's a little bit different than Ditto, but there are still so many things about her personality that are so similar to Ditto's personality. We also have to remember that when Ditto was a house cat at the end of his life, he was sick the entire time. So I never really got to know him as a healthy house cat with, you know, his regular personality, like when he wasn't sick. So chances are good that he was probably even more similar to Sammy than like we even know. I'm trying to get Boo not to groom himself because I don't want him to upset his tooth. Don't groom yourself, Boo, okay? You want me to get your wipes? You want to get your wipes? So I ended up having a pretty lengthy conversation with this woman in the pet store, and it was just really interesting to hear her story, and especially about the tuxedo cats, because it really, really reminded me of Ditto and Sammy. Like, if you ever like have a weird situation like that, and then you just get like the chills, and you're like, oh my god, that is just like, where is this coming from? It was kind of like that. So she said that she has one cat currently, and you know, it's enough for her, and she's really happy with her cat, and obviously she treats the cat really well. She was buying a lot of food and treats for it, so I know it's very well taken care of. And she was easily in her 80s, and she was very nice, and I just thought it was really interesting. And then like we went our separate ways in the store, but then we crossed paths again, and she was telling me about something else, and I was like, oh, that's really good to know. Thank you. I forget what it was. Boo. Boo, what was it? What was she telling me? What was she telling me, Boo? I don't remember. It's always interesting. The people that I meet at pet stores are always very interesting. I just gave Cousin Oliver a meaty stick. I don't know if you could see him. I know there's a lot of reflections on the windows right now. It looks like he's chewing on it. It looks like he's going to eat it. He was hanging out on a patio chair. And I thought he might be hungry, so I thought I'd give him a snack. Yeah, looks like he's enjoying it. Lately, the cats have not been too excited about meaty sticks. So I've been trying to like give them little pieces in their food and stuff, but then they end up leaving it on their plate. But it looks like he liked it. I mean, the one good thing about having a feral cat outside is they're usually not too picky when it comes to food. They usually eat anything you give them, so you can get rid of stuff that the inside cats don't really like. Here's Boo, and I just gave him some of the freshly made beef-based cat food. He's gonna try it out. So I guess he approves. He's eating it. I added quite a bit of water to it. You see it's a lot more soupy. I'm trying to keep his food as soft as possible while also getting a decent amount of liquid into him. This is what's left of his breakfast, and this was the chicken-based cat food that I made yesterday. As you can see, he enjoyed a lot of it. He really enjoys beef. Normally, I'll just give him chunks of beef to chew on, and he really likes that. And the majority of the time when I'm making beef-based homemade cat food, I don't put the beef through a grinder, and I don't put the beef through a food processor. I'll just cut it into small chunks with a knife, and then I'll mix in the ground up organ meats, like pureed organ meats. It makes a nice gravy for it, and then I'll add the rest of the ingredients, and they usually really like that. But today, because of his tooth issue, that's why I wanted to make this as smooth as possible, and that's why I used a food processor. So this recipe is called smooth beef. Normally when I'm feeding the cats, that recipe is called chunky beef. It's very similar. Okay, so I'll let him enjoy the rest of this. This is like a midday meal for him. And I'm glad he's eating it because the vet said to make sure he eats well. And yeah, I'm happy that he likes it. I just gave some to Ringo. He can be a very picky eater. He's not going to eat it. If he doesn't eat it, I'll just let it sit there because someone else will eat it. Let's give it to Simba. Maybe Simba will like it. You want to eat it, Simba? You want to try it? Want to try it, Simba? You want it? Yep. I just gave some to Splash. Is Splash going to eat it? Okay, you don't want it? There's Boo, and he's having the turkey-based food for dinner. I did sprinkle some powdered freeze-dried chicken on top because that is his favorite meal topper. And that's what the other cats are having on their meal right now. They're having homemade food, just a different recipe. And he can smell the freeze-dried chicken from here. So he was like, I'm not eating until you put some on my food. I'd like to give a shout out to Abril and C.R.Barboni. Thank you so much for your patronage this month and your generous support. Thank you for watching this Lucky Ferals video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you'd like me to post more videos, and please make sure to check out these other videos that were selected especially for you.